Hello and welcome to our channel. We're going to tell you a story. My name is Sophie, and I'm a second-year student at a large university in the city. Life here is exciting, full of dreams, and sometimes full of secrets. This is the story of how I discovered something that changed my view of love, friendship, and trust forever. It started on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. I had just finished my literature class and decided to stop by the library before heading home. The library was quiet, with the soft sound of rain tapping against the windows. I walked slowly between the bookshelves, searching for a book for my next assignment. As I reached the back corner where fewer students go, I noticed an old book lying on the floor. It looked dusty, like it hadn't been touched in years. I bent down, picked it up, and noticed that it wasn't a library book. It had no sticker or number. Curious, I opened it. Inside the front cover was a folded piece of paper. I hesitated, but curiosity won. I opened it and began to read. To the one who finds this, I hope you understand what this means. I had no other way to express myself. I'm in love with someone who doesn't even know I exist. The letter continued with emotions so deep, so raw, I felt my heart twist. It didn't say who wrote it or who it was meant for. It was anonymous. But something about the handwriting, the honesty in the words, made it feel real, like a piece of someone's soul was hidden in those lines. I placed the book in my bag, unsure what to do next. That night I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking about the letter. Who wrote it? Why did they hide it in an old book? Was it a joke? Or was it real? The next morning I showed it to my roommate, Mira. She's my best friend, funny, smart, and always full of theories. "This is so romantic," she said. "You should find out who wrote it. Maybe they're still around." I smiled but didn't say anything. The truth was, something inside me wanted to find the person too. Not just for answers but because I felt connected to the words. Over the next few days, I searched the library for more hidden letters or clues. I even asked one of the older librarians if she knew anything about the book, but she just smiled and said, "This library is full of stories. Not all of them are in the books." Then one afternoon, while walking through the same section, I found another note. It was hidden between the pages of a poetry book. The handwriting was the same. "She walks by every day with her books in her arms and headphones in her ears. She never notices me, but I notice everything about her. Her smile, the way she fixes her hair when she's nervous. If I ever told her how I feel, would she laugh? Or would she smile?" Froze. Was this about someone on campus? Or worse, was it about me? The days passed, and I found myself looking at people differently. Was it someone from my class? Someone I knew? Then I met Liam. He was sitting alone in the library, sketching in a notebook. I had seen him before but never talked to him. That day I gathered my courage and said hello. He looked up and smiled, a little surprised. "Hi," he said. "You're Sophie, right? You're in Dr. Patel's literature class." "Yes," I said, and sat down across from him. We started talking, first about class, then books, music, and life in the city. He was kind, quiet, and thoughtful. There was something calming about his presence. We became library friends. I'd see him a few times a week, and we'd sit together. Sometimes we talked, sometimes we just read silently next to each other. But there was comfort in those moments. One day I mentioned the letters. He paused. "You found something special," he said softly. I looked at him. "Do you know who wrote them?" He shook his head. "Maybe. But some things are more beautiful when they stay a mystery." That night I found another note. This time it said, "I saw her today laughing with someone. Her happiness is like sunlight. Makes everything better. But would she ever feel the same way about me?" I couldn't sleep. My heart was confused. Was Liam the one writing these letters? Was this all a coincidence? Or was I just seeing what I wanted to see? One evening, as we walked out of the library, I asked him directly, "Liam, can I ask you something?" Said, "Sure," he replied. "Have you ever written something for someone? Something you couldn't say out loud?" He looked at me, his expression unreadable. Then he said, "Yes. But sometimes, the words we can't say are the ones that mean the most. Before I could say more, he walked away. That night I made a decision. I would write back. I took a blank paper and wrote. To the person who writes with so much heart, I don't know who you are, but I feel your words. If you are still around, if you're brave enough, maybe we can talk. You can leave your next letter where I found the first one. I'll be waiting. I placed the letter in the same old book and returned it to the same shelf. Then I waited. The next morning I woke up feeling nervous and excited. I rushed to class, but my thoughts were somewhere else. On the library, the book, and whether someone would reply to my letter. After my last class, I walked quickly to the library. My heart was pounding as I stepped into the quiet space, heading straight to the old bookshelf at the back. The book was there. I pulled it out, my hands trembling. I opened it slowly. Inside was a new note. I never thought you would write back. I've watched you from a distance for so long, thinking you'd never notice someone like me. I never had the courage to speak. Until now. There was no name, no clue. But the words felt more personal this time, closer. If you really want to meet me, come to the rooftop of the art building tomorrow at 5 p.m. I'll be there. I stared at the note for a long time. My emotions were a mix of fear, excitement, and curiosity. I told Mira everything that night. Are you going to go? She asked, wide-eyed. I think I have to, I said. I need to know who it is. The next day felt like the longest day of my life. At exactly 4:50 p.m., I made my way to the art building. My heart was racing as I climbed the stairs to the rooftop. The sky was orange with the sunset. The air was quiet still. And then I saw him. Liam. He was standing near the edge, looking out at the view. He turned around slowly when he heard my footsteps. I was hoping you'd come, he said softly. My breath caught in my throat. It was you, all along. He nodded. I didn't know how to tell you, he said. You were always so full of light. I felt like a shadow next to you. Writing those letters. It was the only way I could be close to you. I didn't know what to say. The boy I had spent weeks wondering about was standing in front of me. My library friend. The quiet artist. Liam. Why didn't you just talk to me? Yes. He looked down. Because I was afraid. Afraid that if I showed you the real me, you'd walk away. I stepped closer. But the letters. They were the real you, weren't they? Said. He looked up. His eyes were full of emotion. Yes, he said. Every word. We stood there for a long moment just looking at each other. The sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow on everything around us. I don't know what this is, I whispered. But I want to find out. A slow smile spread across his face. Me too. That day was the beginning of something new. We started spending more time together, not just in the library but outside. Liam showed me his art, his sketches, his favorite quiet spots around campus. I showed him my favorite books, my favorite songs. We shared dreams, fears, and stories we'd never told anyone else. Our bond grew stronger with each passing day. But, as life often does, things got complicated. One afternoon, I saw Liam arguing with a classmate outside the art building. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but the expression on Liam's face was one I had never seen before. Angry, hurt, and frustrated. When I asked him about it later, he tried to brush it off. It's nothing, he said. Just someone from my past. But I knew it wasn't nothing. A few days later, I received a message from an unknown number. You think Liam is sweet and perfect? He's not. Ask him what happened last year. Ask him why he really transferred here. I felt my stomach drop. I showed the message to Mira. She looked serious. You need to ask him, she said. If you really trust him, you deserve to know the truth. That evening, I met Liam at our usual spot under the old tree near the library. There's something I need to ask, I said gently. He looked at me, and he already knew. It's about my past, isn't it? He nodded. Liam took a deep breath. Last year at my old university, I was in a dark place. I didn't have many friends. Kept to myself. One day, I was falsely accused of something I didn't do, stealing artwork from another student. The truth came out eventually, but the damage was done. People stopped trusting me. My name was ruined. I had to leave. My heart ached for him. "Why didn't you tell me?" I asked. "Because I was afraid you'd believe the rumors," he said, looking away. "I didn't want to lose you too." I reached out and took his hand. "I believe you," I said. "Thank you for trusting me enough to tell me." The message had tried to break us, but it didn't. Instead, it brought us closer. We learned that love isn't just about happy moments. It's also about standing by each other through storms. And we had our share of storms. There were days when Liam felt overwhelmed by his past, and I had to remind him that he was more than his mistakes. There were days when I felt insecure, and he reminded me of my strength. We grew together. 1 year later, we returned to the same rooftop where it all began. Liam brought a small notebook. He handed it to me. It was filled with letters, every single one he had written but never placed in the books. Letters about his feelings, his fears, and most of all, his hope that someone like me could love someone like him. Tears filled my eyes as I read the last one. She didn't just notice me. She saw me. The real me. And that's all I ever wanted. I looked up at him, my heart full. "I saw you, Liam. And I'll keep seeing you every day." He smiled, and in that moment the past faded. What remained was love. I hope you enjoyed this story. Have you ever experienced? Share your stories with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories and adventures. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.